Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Chris, and today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. In a bunch of videos recently, we've been going around and essentially building out the entire city here because we recently started over and essentially started with a clean slate. And so I'll put that video in the top right if you missed it. And so pretty much the city looks completely different than how it did a couple of months ago. And so with that, I have created quite the mess. And so in today's video, I'm going to give you guys an update on the channel as well as a bunch of time lapses sorting and deconstructing all of the old modules from the old city layout. So let's just jump right in. All right, so pretty much what I'm doing is I'm just taking these sections that are from the old city layout and I'm just disassembling them here. We're starting with this top section of the mountain, and then once that is pretty much done, I'm going through and I'm actually putting all of these pieces away as I go along. So that actually makes my life a lot easier later down the line. But once we finish this section, then we're moving on to the next section here, which is just this essential grass base plate, which has a lot of foliage on it and a lot of other details. And this is where that little cabin was back when we had the farm and that whole nature area. So that is this module. And I think this looked really nice, but we can definitely do something better in the near future. And so pretty much what I'm doing right now is I'm just going through and disassembling everything, like I said, and then sorting it away. And this was about 2 hours worth of footage condensed down to about a minute. So hopefully this is kind of interesting for you guys. But with all of this being deconstructed, I hope to, in the future, to not only rebuild these sections, but make them better as well, especially in that new expansion part of the layout that's coming in the very near future. So those modules that we just took apart used to be right in this corner over here. The farm plate, the green essential square, was right here, and then that mountaintop was obviously up at the top. And so obviously we're not having a mountain in this current section of the city here. This is mostly, I want this to be like downtown and have a lot of buildings here. As you can see, I want a big city block here with town hall at the end. I want this big block of buildings as well, and then buildings lining the back, and then more buildings over here. And then I'm fine with this being green space as well, and then having botanical garden here, and then just having this be open green space, maybe a little bit of trees and other foliage in the back there just to help differentiate it a little bit. But for the most part, this is just like downtown. I did say that we are going to be rebuilding the mountain. It's just not going to be on this table here. What I'm actually thinking about doing is expanding the city. I've talked about this, I think, once or twice already, but we've expanded the city once before with this table here. And while it is a mess because all of the old modules of the layout are pretty much on this at the moment, that's why we're doing today's video, just to help clean everything off and kind of sort everything away. What I plan to do with the city in the future is to actually get another table and then have a bridge connecting the two tables, and then that other table would actually be a lot more like nature stuff. So it'd have a mountain and then a lot of more greenery and things like that. Whereas this is mostly going to be buildings. And I even am planning to put more buildings on the expansion table here as well. As you can see, I have the boutique hotel and the police station here already. And I want to add a couple more buildings down here just to make it look a little bit more full. And I'll probably just have walking paths going through here, I think, instead of having a road cut through. So that's kind of my tentative idea. That's why I am taking those sections apart, because once this is all good to go and then that other section gets added in on the other end of the room, then we can connect the two together with a bridge, and then we can start building out all of these other details, and we can build a bigger and better mountain. We can build a lot more foliage using a lot more unique pieces and things like that. So I'm really, really excited about it. But with that being said, we're going to jump back into a time lapse, and we are going to start taking apart some other modules as well, because those were not the only two modules that remain. I've been taking a lot of stuff apart off camera, but I figured today would just be a good vlog style of video to kind of update you guys on everything that's going on in the city here, and then my plans for the future as well. So again, like I said, we're going to jump back into a time lapse right now. All right, so we are starting up the time lapse again with yet another mountain module. This one's a little bit bigger than the other two were, but I'm just going about it the same way. I'm taking sections apart, sorting them into piles, and then pretty much just sorting them away right as they get big on the table. And then that just helps give me the desk space that I need to keep doing this, and to also just stay on top of it so I don't end up with a bunch of different piles. But next here is actually one of the base plates from the old city layout. This was pretty specialized and it had a curved road in it. This was one of the only base plates that I was actually in the core of the city that I couldn't actually reuse. But I do plan on reusing the pieces all throughout the city as well. And again, this was another about an hour and a half to 2 hours worth of time lapsing. All right, and so with a lot of that time lapsing done and a bunch of stuff done off camera too, this is what that expansion table is looking like now. Before, it was a giant mess, but now I've actually gotten most of it cleaned off and most of it sorted away as well. The only major stuff left is just this green plate right here, and then this bit of brown plate, this odd colored plate, and then this little pile right here. But this will take like 5 minutes. This is mostly just like smaller pieces and things like that, and then like parts of sidewalks and things as well. So I just need to take the couple minutes that it's going to be and then put all of this stuff away. So that's not the end of the world, but I just wanted to show you guys a progress update instead of just showing you the final product. But with that being said, I do still need to figure out what I'm going to do with this. I don't think I'm going to keep it. I think I'm going to tear it apart, but I guess this is probably going to be the last you'll see of it. I do intend on reusing this at some point, so don't worry. This will definitely be coming back, and it might actually show up right over here. I did also add this base plate in because we cleared this off in this video, so that's good. I'm actually thinking about putting it here maybe, or out in front of the town hall. And this was part of one of the modules that we took apart today, and so I think this would also look pretty good here. I don't really know what to like where exactly, but I think right there in that general area could look pretty good. So I'm pretty happy with that. I think that's a pretty good idea. I do still need to go in and figure out the wedge plate situation for this. I haven't figured that out yet. What I might do is just go in Lego Studio and then just build this digitally and then just place the wedge plates in to see which ones work. So I don't have to go in and test fit a bunch of different ones and then buy ones that I don't need. So that's probably the best option for me at the moment. And then as for everything over here, pretty much what I'm going to do, I'm going to finish cleaning this off, and then I will show you guys once that's all done, because once this is done, then we can start to map out what the plan is for the rest of this. So let's do that really quick, and then we can start talking about the plan. And so with that, this whole section is pretty much done. It looks great. Well, there's nothing here, but it looks better than it did before. I'm leaving this here for the time being just to remind myself that I need to take this apart and then use the little details around the city. But basically what I want to talk about before I wrap up the video is just my tentative plan for this area here. And so obviously I want this road to come straight through to the edge of the table here. And then I want a bridge going to that other table. And then this train track is probably going to come and meet it. I think I should have probably gotten some curves to kind of help illustrate that, but I think it's going to come this way, or maybe the road is going to come back. Not totally sure about that, but I do want to keep this here and then have the lower section down here. And then have like water and things like that and like a cliff edge, kind of like what we had before actually. So I think that might be a pretty good way to go about this. I think that would look pretty good. And then I want to extend this raised area pretty much all throughout here. So then this area from here to here all the way to the back is going to be all raised, and there's going to be more buildings here, like a walking path in the middle, and I think it's going to look really, really cool. And then out front here we can have like beachfront views or like apartments or like a hotel. Again, really tentative, but I think that could be a really, really cool idea. And then the train track is going to come, it could go straight or it can come all the way through here. And then this section here from like where the span of my fingers is all the way to the edge of the table and then all the way over is going to be water. It's going to be like ocean essentially. And then we can have like a staircase going down and like a little beach area and things like that. But I want that to mostly just be like cliff edges and maybe some retaining walls and things like that. So that's my plan. That's the tentative plan that I am thinking about right now. But I think it looks pretty good. I think that plan is definitely solid and it has some potential. So with that being said, we're going to wrap up today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, make sure to like it and subscribe, as well as click the bell notifications so you don't miss any future uploads. Like actually getting to work on this expansion table here. And also, if you have any feedback for me on that fountain and also my tentative plan for this area here, make sure to drop a comment down below to let me know what you think. But once again, seriously, thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye for now.